I'm Lynnie with Sunflower Spirit Tarot, and I'm here with a message for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. This is just going to be a general message, so whatever I see is what I will read. Alright, just a couple of shuffles and we'll get started. Messages for Aquarius Spirit. Can you please allow me to channel the most important messages, predictions, and happenings to, for, from, about, and around Aquarius? By the time they do this video, about a week out. What does Aquarius need to know and be aware of? And I apologize for any noise that you might hear in the background. I don't live alone, and I have absolutely no control over these people. So, messages for Aquarius. I'll be doing a 9-card cornerstone reading. Basically, it's just a spread of 9 cards that's going to tell me a story. Let's see. Most important messages, predictions. We start the reading with the 9 of Cups, which is a super positive energy of self-fulfillment. It can also be an energy of wish fulfillment. But here lately, I've been feeling the 9 of Cups as just this energy of being very comfortable within yourself. Feeling very confident in what you have created, what you have built, how hard you have worked, the progress you have made in your life. I feel like you still feel like there's so much more to come, though. Like there's so much that you haven't seen. There's so much goodness that is yet to see. And if you don't know that, or if you don't already feel that way, that's definitely true. I feel like you're questioning that, though, with this 5 of Swords coming out. You're questioning whether it's going to get better or whether you will get what you need. Like, you're feeling good now, and you're like, well, I feel good now. How much better does it get? Am I actually going to keep progressing? Is it actually going to keep getting better? Am I actually going to be able to touch the things that I want, to do the things that I want, to live the life that I want? Gratitude goes a long way as far as maintaining the good feeling that you have right now. Just being grateful for the position that you're already in, what you already have, where you already are. I feel like you are excited for this next chapter in your life to start, or some new adventure that you have going on. You could just be feeling more inspired right now, a little more creative, more in touch with your inner child at this time. You might also have some Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries placements. That could be somebody that you're dealing with. It might have those placements, maybe not. Okay, so you're trying to move forward from tradition, or you're trying to create a future that's not necessarily in line with what people expected for you, or with what other people in your family do, or how other people in your family operate. Let's finish the spread for Aquarius, please, Spirit. I feel like you want to do things different. I feel like you have a vision for your life that maybe other people don't understand, or aren't capable of creating, right? Or aren't even capable of visualizing. There might be something that you want to do, something you want to create, you know, someone you want to be that other people can't even fathom because their imaginations don't even reach that far. You know what I'm saying? So don't let them challenge your sense of self, or you operating in your authenticity, simply because they don't understand it, or they don't get it, or because they're not creative enough to even come up with something like that. All right, finishing the spread. Wow, we have all 3 of the masculine fire sign energies here. At the bottom of the spread, we got the 3 of Cups. You're going to be having a good time, celebrating some good news very soon. There's confirmation for some of you guys coming through of some good news here. It may require you to walk away from something, or to leave something behind. It could just be confirmation that something is, you know, kind of done and dusted. Like everything that was going on in your previous chapter is finally over and done with. There's no more dissatisfaction. I think there's this energy of moving away from not being happy, not being settled. It's like there's so much more that the world has to offer you. There's so much more in store for you than what you even see right now. And I feel like you feel that instinctively, like you know that there's more to come, but you can't see it yet. You can't put your finger on it yet. You just know that you have to keep going in the direction that you're going in, and one day you're going to see it. Let's see. So this flip first. Yeah, we got the 3 of Swords, the Death card. Very interesting. So a heavy time in your life, I feel like it's over. A time in your life where you were settling for the bare minimum, whether it's in relationships, at your job, even just with yourself, right? Your own discipline, or the way that you carry yourself, or the way that you treat yourself. It's like you're not afraid to stand out anymore. You're not afraid to be heard, to be seen, to be perceived, right? That's been a big thing that's been coming through lately, that is this idea of not wanting to be perceived for a really long time, kind of being locked in like survival mode, right? Just focusing all of your energy inward. And now it's like, I'm here, I'm ready to conquer, I'm ready to play, I'm ready to enjoy myself, I'm ready to have a good time. I just feel like you are leaving behind all of the ideas, the beliefs, the programming that comes to you from your family or whatever tradition or culture that you were raised in, and you're deciding that that's not the life that you want. That's not the way that you want to live. Like, let's say, for example, you decided that you don't want to have children, but everybody in your family has children, all of your siblings, your cousins and everybody in your generation of your family, they're kind of popping out kids and getting married and settling down and having this kind of traditional lifestyle. And you're showing up to, the family functions like, I'm not having no kids. I'm trying to be the rich auntie, the rich uncle that travels and goes and does things and has my own life. And I'm not ready to have children, or I may never be ready to have children. It may never be something that's in my purview. I may never want that, right? I may never want to settle down in the traditional way. And I do think that people challenge you, because not necessarily misery loves company, but in the sense that they feel like, well, they played by the rules, well, they did everything that they were supposed to do, right? So how come you don't have to? And you get to still be happy, right? Because there are facets of people's lives that they settle into, right? Whether it is having a family, getting married, things like that. They're not all, rainbow and sunshine all the time. Sometimes there is a sense of dissatisfaction for not having that sense of autonomy. I've been married before, and when I was married, there were definitely phases, because I am a very independent spirit, phases in my marriage where I was just like, I wish I didn't do this. I wish I never got married, because I just want to be independent on my own. I wish I had autonomy. I wish I could operate and make decisions for myself without always having to consider other people. And I have a daughter, so I'm a parent, so I understand the sacrifices that you make when you become a parent, right? You're always considering this little person, who completely depends on you for everything that they need. And you're sacrificing your personal space, you're sacrificing your personal time, you're almost sacrificing who you are as a person just to be a parent, or at least that's what we've been taught is the right thing to do, right? We put ourselves and our lives on the back burner. And you might have kids. I was just using that as an example, but what I'm saying is that you're no longer willing to sacrifice the pieces of yourself that have been suppressed and unhappy and unsettled for so long. You're seeking adventure, you're seeking passion, you are feeling more creative and more inspired to do whatever it is that fulfills you. We got the Eight of Pentacles and the hidden energy here. This is working hard towards overcoming something or towards creating something. It's also the card of being very intentional with the choices that you make, where you're putting your energy, because wherever your attention goes, it grows, right? So you're being very intentional about what you're thinking about, what you're talking about, what you're doing, what you're watching, what you're consuming, right? Not just food, but what you're consuming as far as TV and entertainment and social media. It's like, if it doesn't make you feel inspired, if it doesn't make you feel passionate or full of life, if it doesn't contribute to your overall sense of enjoyment, you're kind of dropping it right now. I think that is because you are coming out of such a heavy time. A time when your needs were not met. A time when you were not happy, but you were putting on a brave face for everybody around you because that's what you were supposed to do, right? A lot of this to me is just reading, getting out of your own way and going against the grain, even though you know it's going to ruffle feathers. There are people whose insecurities are triggered simply because you're not willing to give up on yourself, or you're not willing to sacrifice your independence or your autonomy for what they think that you should have for your life. You may even be deciding to have a non-traditional career as an artist or someone who creates full-time. It could even be content creation as well. It could be pretty much anything that relates to your sense of pleasure, your sense of creativity, or what you feel like you can bring into the world, something that you're passionate about, and something that will allow you to express yourself on a really authentic level. I do feel like you are kind of ego driven at this time, but the ego is not a bad thing. The ego is not our enemy. Sometimes you gotta be like, I'm that bitch, I'm that dude, I'm the one, okay? And I'm not gonna let anybody stand in my way. You're having, I feel like, deep breakthroughs about things that maybe you learned growing up, things that you experienced during childhood that may be normal for your culture or your, maybe traditional for you in some sense, but just aren't what you want or what you need. But you understand the things that you've learned have established your sense of values or your sense of morals. So even if you don't do everything by the book of the way that you were grown, the way that you've grown up or the way that people want you to be, even though you don't operate by the book, you still take bits and pieces of what you need, right? Because you were given a solid foundation, but you understand that this foundation was given to you so that you could build upon it. All right, let's clarify a little bit here. I want to clarify this Page of Wands energy. What is this Page of Wands energy for Aquarius? Page of Wands. Ooh, okay. We got the Four of Swords. Yeah, I do feel like you're getting closure on something. And I believe that whatever is ending for you, this chapter that's ending for you, this phase in your life that's ending for you, you're getting a lot of closure because you're making peace with who you are. It's almost like you've been born again and now you get to be a child. You get to see the world through, not like childlike eyes, but just see the world through a lens that you've never got to experience before, like through a perspective that you've never gotten to understand before, because you finally made peace with the fact that you're not like everybody else. You stand out, you're different. And when you are operating as your highest and authentic self, or your favorite version of yourself, right, you don't necessarily align with other people's ideas of who you're supposed to be. And I think that you're making peace with that. I think you're making peace with being a little bit weird, a little bit goofy, a little bit off, a little bit, we all are in our own ways, but you're just not afraid to put that out there to show people, and to be authentic, not just in private, but in public spaces as well. Whether that's online or just, you're dressing the way that you want to dress. You are looking the way that you want to look. You might even get a haircut really soon, or you might have recently changed your hair or something about your appearance, just to highlight this phase that you're in of really feeling yourself and not being afraid to call attention to yourself right now. Let's clarify this Five of Swords for Aquarius. We got the Two of Pentacles and the Tower here. So somebody is going to try to get you to question what it is that you want, or somebody already has, okay? So, this is not going to be obvious to you for some reason. I got that. Like, whatever this Two of Pentacles is for you, it's not going to be obvious, okay? I feel like this was more like subversive, meaning what this person was doing, they may not have even realized what they were doing, or whatever this situation is, you may not even have realized the position that it was putting you in, but it was forcing you to choose, right? You may have been having a lot of conflict with people who are close to you, people who you grew up with, or members of your family, or even if you've had a job for a long time, or you've had the same career for a long time, you might have faced a lot of challenges just doing your day-to-day, doing what you regularly normally do. You might even be feeling a sense of conflict as, is this really what, like, as in, is this really what I want for my life? Is this really what I want for my future? And you were either forced to make a decision, or you will be. You're going to be facing challenges and roadblocks, like basically headbutting something, coming against something over and over again, because it's going to call you to question, what are your values right now? What are your priorities right now? Let me just give you an example. This may not be your story. Let's talk about not wanting to have kids, right? This Five of Swords to me represents, this Five of Swords with the Two of Pentacles and the Tower represents this idea. Okay, let's say you have a really overbearing mom and she wants you to have children, so she's been like getting on to you. But so when are you gonna have kids? When are you gonna get married? When are you gonna do this? When are you gonna blah blah? Just on you lately. Every time she sees you, every time she talks to you, she's talking to you about, so when am I gonna get some grandchildren? When am I blah blah? And at first you would go along with it, like, oh well, thinking, if you could just keep the peace, everything would be fine, right? But I think as you feel more pressure to conform to whatever this standard is, whatever this tradition is, whatever this value is that the people around you seem to hold, that you also believed that you held at one time, the more you get pressure about fulfilling that or living up to that value, right, you realize, oh shit, I don't even want that. That's not even what I want. That's not even how I want to live my life. That's not even what I want to do. Like, let's reevaluate my priorities right now. And I feel like either you've already had that moment or you will be having that moment very soon, okay? So the more pressure you feel, the more challenged you feel in a particular arena or a particular like part of your life, whatever value is being challenged for you right now, I think Spirit is asking you, is that what you really want? Is that how you really feel? Is that how you really want to move? Is that really what you want for your future? That sort of energy, okay? I'm going to clarify, let's see, these 8 of Cups here. Why are we ending the reading on the 8 of Cups? You know, I was kind of not understanding why this Knight of Wands was moving away from this 8 of Cups and why the 8 of Cups was ending the reading here. And now I'm understanding that it's basically 2 groups separating. You are here, but this is the group in this 8 of Cups energy kind of moving away from this Knight of Wands. There's a natural separation that's going to occur the more that you continue to live authentically. And that might make a lot of you feel very sad. It might make a lot of you feel like lonely and as if you don't really have anybody in your life who really loves you and supports you. But you do. You do. And you will continue to create a sense of community as you are operating as your authentic self. You will come into alignment with people who are for you, right? So the 7 of Pentacles is clarifying this 8 of Cups. And also at the bottom of the deck, we got the 3 of Wands here. These are 2 waiting energies. And I think that what that reminds you of is that it's just going to take time, right? This process is not an overnight thing, right? You might fall out, let's say the same example, you might fall out with your mom because she's always pressuring you to have children. You might confront her about it and y'all might not speak for a while. But that's not to say that you won't have a relationship with your mom, right? So what I mean by that is with this 8 of Cups, it's going to be like this kind of slow separation. It's going to be like this fork in the road where it's super close for a while and you can still see them on the other side, right? They chose this path, you chose this path. And so while you're walking down this fork, right, you understand that you have chosen a different route, that you've gone a different path, but you'll still be able to see them for a while. I think there will be this kind of, just like I said, this natural separation that's going to just happen over time. And it's going to force you to continue asking yourself, did I make the right choice? Am I making the right choices? Am I on the right path? Am I where I'm supposed to be? But I think you will get confirmation of that really, really soon. In fact, I think along the way, you're going to find all these wonderful little pieces that of what's to come, basically. I know that you're going to feel maybe a little bit isolated, a little bit lonely, possibly even a little bit insecure about the decisions that you're making because they're going to create this fork, right? Your traditions that you were brought up with, your culture, your family's values, all that kind of stuff, the long-standing stuff that's kind of been in your brain and on your mind and you're trying to live up to it that you no longer align with anymore is going to be on this side and you're going to be on this side. But you're, like I said, you're still going to be able to see it. You're still going to be able to relate to it, resonate with it, but you're always going to know deep down that that's not where you want to be. So don't make the mistake of crossing the fork to get back to your comfort zone, okay? It's going to take time for you to feel comfortable enough to completely be, you know, in your own authentic energy, right? You could also be pursuing somebody who ignites this idea within you. So if this King of Wands isn't you, right? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, highest masculine energy in the Wands hierarchy, right? If you are not embodying, right, separating yourself from, you know, your traditions and culture and all that kind of stuff and moving into this, you might be pursuing this King of Wands. This is somebody who you admire because they are already embodying that energy that you want to embody, right? Not caring what other people think, or at least not looking like they care. You know, marching to the beat of their own drum, doing their own thing. They might be an entrepreneur. They might own several businesses, or they might have a lot of creative ideas. They might work as the director of some sort of department that creates, like a director of marketing or director of, you know, things like that. So, I mean, I don't know any specific careers, but they might just be somebody who is in a position that you would like to be in, or that's the energy that you are phasing yourself into. But once again, I just want to remind you, we're going from the page at the center of the spread to the knight to the king, and you're gonna have to be patient as you separate yourself from everything that you've known, all of the things that belong to your comfort zone, all of the ideas and the programming that belong to your family, and all that kind of stuff, their values and everything like that. And like I said, this could also represent, this Ten of Pentacles could also represent outside of family and culture and traditions and beliefs, right? It could represent a certain career. So you could completely be divesting your energy from a particular career and moving into something completely different, right? Something that's more creative, something that sparks that more creative side of you, or that part of you. So Aquarius, I encourage you to continue following your heart's desire here, allowing what's falling away to continue falling away, and to keep pursuing your passion and your sense of purpose, because that's where you're going to find the sweet rewards that you are looking for. They are coming. They will be presenting themselves. You're going to find some little mile markers along the way to help you understand that you're on the right way, but you got to stop looking for validation, okay? Know in your heart that you're making the right choices, and know in your heart that you're pursuing the things that you feel passionately about, and you're always going to go the right way if you continue following your gut and listening to your higher guidance. All right, Aquarius, this is what I have for you guys. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.